My problem is I didn't have a chute blocker, and I like mulching leaves. It's a lot easier than raking. And these magnolia trees I have here are elephant ears that get down. They killed the grass several times if I didn't have a chance to get them up. You can see they're a pretty heavy leaf, and today's pretty wet, so they're not crispy at all. And I didn't have a chute blocker, so it took me 20 minutes to make one, and I don't have the capability to edit on this phone, so I'll show you what I did. This is my Hustler Wrapped Air Limited 52-inch cut with my bungee cord chute adjuster. And what I did was I got a piece of aluminum siding trim. It was about 6 inches tall, and the tools needed was a pair of tin snips and a 1/2-inch drill, a bolt, 2 washers. Hustler behind there gave me a rectangle hole that a bolt with a 1/2-inch cap on it would fit through. And I folded the edge of that down just for a little bit of stiffness, put it in a vise, bent it halfway, and beat it flat with a hammer. And the rest of it just laid in the trough of the chute brace. The end of it went around and got lodged in the where the deck slopes back. There's a nice little gap there. Now there's a hole here that got filled up with leaves, but this, I don't have to get too serious, but all that is one bolt holding that in, plus the wedge on the end over here. I just slid it around, kept it in the groove here, slid it around, wedged it tight, marked my hole with a pencil from the back side, drilled the hole, put the bolt in, ready to go. It took me 20 minutes first time. I had to think about it a little bit. This lip on here keeps the bottom in. Of course, the bolt keeps the rest of it in. And folding over the top gives it a little stiffness. This is the job it did. There was only one layer of leaves on here. I did get some windrow like this. I went over it 3 times, but I just have the regular Hustler high lifts blades on it. Came with the machine. They were sharpened 4 hours ago, but I also did it on some maple leaves up there, and I went along my wood line and kind of freed that up. You can only imagine how solid that gets up there in the forest line there. But that's how I come up with a chute blocker. It didn't cost me nothing. Now, if I had a one of them bolts that flip over, you know, to hold it in place, just put it in, snap it, that'd be great. I don't have one. I just used that bolt I inherited from my dad. Of course, it does make a mess out of your deck. I would recommend you take your covers off even before you start. It will just clog everything up. The other thing is, when I was doing it, and they're all wet, I just had to do it because I'm getting surgery tomorrow, so I want to get them cleaned up, is if you smell belt smoke, raise your deck. You don't want to burn up your belts, because I'll tell you what, they're in there chugging around pretty good. So I don't recommend doing them wet, and I don't recommend doing it with the deck too low. I started out on B, actually. I started out on B, ended up on D on account of there was too much chugging going on under there, and I